although this video is not going to show you exactly how to complete the Apply Your Knowledge Loan Payment Calculator for Chapter 4, hopefully it will guide you through some of the tougher parts. So you can see here that I have opened the student data file, Apply 4-1 Loan Payment Calculator. And you're going to be recreating the loan payment calculator that you see pictured in your book on page Excel 262. So when your loan calculator is complete, it should look something like this. So the first couple things that you are asked to do is you're going to select a range. In fact, I believe it's going to be this range, and you're going to be defining some names for this range, and you'll do that as the directions say by using the Formulas tab, and then you'll just be able to use the Create from Selection button there to create your named ranges. And you can see that I've already done that, so my named ranges show up in the name box here, and to go to a specific range, I can simply click on what I need to go to. You're also going to be following the instructions in number 2 to enter a couple formulas. The formulas that you will need to enter in cells C8 and C9, which are here and here, as well as in F4, G4 and H4 are given to you, so you simply need to type those in, which you will see those are going to be typed in using the named ranges that you can have. So for example, in H4, you're asked to use the formula equals G4 minus price. And you'll see that once you start typing in any of those predefined name ranges, they will pop up for you and you can double click to autofill. So you won't be able to do that until you have successfully completed step number 1. Now the next thing you're asked to do is to use the Data Table button in the What If Analysis Gallery, and that is in the Data Tools group on the Data tab, to define a range as a one-input table. So to do that, which I think sounds a little bit more difficult than it actually is, you'll select your range, which in this case is going to be E4 through H19. So I'm going to select E4 all the way down through H19. And then on that Data tab, you will see the What If Analysis button in that Data Tools group, and you are going to be creating a data table. And you're only going to be using one input, so you aren't going to use both the row and the cell. As your directions say, you are only going to be using the column input cell, and you're going to be using your interest rate from the loan payment calculator as your input here. So all I have to do is either type in or click the interest rate, and now that is going to be my data table. So when I click OK, it's going to fill in all the rest of my information for me. And then of course you'll use your borders and number formatting back on the Home tab to make it look like the example in the book, which you can do easily just by applying borders and some bottom borders and then your number formatting. The next step will have you use the Page Setup dialog box to select the fit and black and white options. So you're going to find that on the Page Layout tab in the Page Setup group. To open up that dialog box, you just click the dialog box launcher, and since you're going to be looking for the Fit To option as well as the black and white option, you are going to need the Page tab where you will find your Fit To option, and your Sheet tab is where you would find your black and white option. Now, of course, I don't want you to actually print this unless you just want to, but the next thing that you will do is you're going to set a print area. So a print area is going to be set using that same Page Layout tab, the Page Setup button. And once you set your print area, I do want you to look at that print preview just to see what it would look like. And of course, if you'd like to, you can print that out. And then you'll end up clearing that print area. Continuing on with instruction number 4, you're going to name some ranges. So for example, B2 all the way through C9 is going to be named loan payment, or I'm sorry, it's just going to be named calculator. So again, we can go back to the Formulas tab and we can click Define Name, and we just want to name this whole range calculator. So now that is one of our named ranges in our drop down, and when we click on it, it selects the correct range for us. You're also going to be naming a range for rate schedule and all sections. And again, your directions are going to ask you to print each range. You don't actually have to print those, but I do want you to at least go to the print preview and see what that would look like. For ranges C3 through C7, you are going to make sure that those are unlocked, and then after you make sure they're unlocked, you are going to protect the worksheet so that the user can only select but not change those cells. And of course, you can do that from the Review tab using your Protect Sheet option here. Again, in number 6, it's going to ask you to print the formulas. You don't have to print the formulas, but do practice using that control shortcut so that you can see your formulas, because that'll be important to know how to do. And then you're going to practice hiding and unhiding your sheet and hiding and unhiding your whole workbook. And you're going to work through some more protection scenarios there in number 7. Number 8, you're just going to be determining the monthly payment for a couple different scenarios. So for that one, all you really have to do is read through and change the values. So for example, the first one you're going to do, you're going to change the item to home from Sailboat, and then you'll change the down payment amount to, I believe it's $80,000. And then you will also change the price, the years, the interest rate, and then you'll change the item to debt consolidation loan and see what your values are there. And you don't have to print all of those. I just want you to make those changes and just kind of make note to yourself what changes are made as a result of your changes here in the interest rate schedule. The interesting thing that you should notice is that as long as you have the data table here in the interest rate schedule, any changes you make in the loan payment calculator are reflected in that interest rate schedule. And then just set the values back to their original values of Sailboat, 15,000, and so on. You can add your initials to cell E3, and then I just need to see your completed spreadsheet with the values set back to Sailboat, and the interest rate schedule should be the correct interest rate schedule as displayed in figure 466.